What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Overboy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the new movie, Scream 7.
So pretty much in this one, a new ghost face emerges in the quiet town where Sydney has built a new life, and her darkest fears are realized as her daughter becomes the next target. I gotta say, this was a pretty good movie. I was really kind of skeptical, kind of nervous, and everything with all the controversies, with all the production problems that this movie went through, that this was going to be the first Scream movie that could potentially not be very great. And I gotta say, I was very happy with how this movie turned out. I think it could have been way worse and everything. The story is pretty decent in here. The killer going after Sydney's daughter is really cool and stuff and everything, and it's kind of what I've always wanted them to do with the Scream movie. If they were going to bring Sydney back, I think they did exactly the way I would have wanted them to do it, so I'm not really upset with it. Neve Campbell is once again excellent as Sydney. In fact, I'd actually say this is my favorite performance of hers in this franchise since Scream 2 and everything. Like, I felt like she was really checked out of Scream 5, and while she was still really good in Scream 3 and 4 and everything, she was just not in those as much as the other ones and stuff, as the first two and everything. And she's front and center in this one again and everything, and she gives one of her best performances and everything. I thought she was really great in here and everything, and you can feel the love she has for Sydney in this movie and everything. Her sitting out the last one and then coming back to this one, you can feel that she really does love and care about this character, and she just does a really great job. Isabel May is really excellent as Tatum. She's a really welcome addition to the Scream characters and everything, and I could totally see her eventually carrying on this franchise and everything. I think we got a few more movies with her before she could really take over, but I do see eventually she being a potential character to take over. Joel McHale is also really likable as Sydney's husband, Mark. He's really good, really good character, and he's the type of guy that fans have wanted Sydney to end up with and everything. Although I really did like Derek in Scream 2 and think that he would have been a good guy for her. This guy was really good for Sydney too, and as just a fan of the character, it was nice getting to see her really happy and stuff and everything. And I did like that about it. Like you kind of see a different side of Sidney Prescott in this movie, or now Sydney Evans. And I love the way that they use Stu and the other old characters that they brought back in here that they shouldn't have announced to the world. That's one of the things that I am kind of aggravated about with this movie, is that they announced these people who are just mostly cameos. Matthew Lillard has more of a supporting role, but the others are just cameos and stuff. And I'm like, why announce it? Why couldn't y'all just let that be fun surprises for the movie and everything? But I did like the little cameos that we got and everything. I'm not going to say who they are and everything, but one of them was unexpected. The other one had already been spoiled when the movie was first being put in production and stuff. And I feel like they could have left Matthew Lillard out of being named as a cast member too, and it would have been a cool surprise for everybody. But I did like how they used him and stuff. I think they did it in a good way that didn't disrespect the past movies either. So I will say that the way they used him was good. And I love the new characters too. I think they all stood out. Hannah was really likable, played by McKenna Grace. She really didn't have a lot of screen time though. She didn't make it very long, but she's a very likable character and everything. And Madison was pretty good. And Scott, the two characters at the beginning, they were likable characters. And then you got Celeste O'Connor is Chloe, who is Tatum's other best friend, and she's really good too and everything. So like I feel like it has a good cast of new characters too, and everything. Most of them are there to die, but they're all really likable characters and stuff. And I feel like there's some of the better new casts of characters in a Scream movie in a while and stuff. And Gail was actually a lot better in this movie than she was in any of the others. I actually legit started to like her in this one and everything. And I like the friendship and stuff that she had with Sidney in this movie, and the way their friendship has developed over the course of 7 movies and everything. And they got some really good moments in there with her, and I really liked that. And it was great to see the Meeks twins again too. They didn't have to be in this movie, but I'm so glad they were. I'm not really complaining at all. They were fun characters in Scream 5 and 6, and I'm glad that they got to come back. Marco Beltrami's score is actually really good too. Like I did feel like his scores for the first 3 movies were better than, or 3 or 4 movies were better than the ones for Scream 5 and 6. But I also have always said that I never felt like his scores really stood out. But this one, to me, I felt like stood out better than the others and everything. Like I really liked the music in here and everything. And there were, of course, callbacks to the music in the previous movies too that also made it feel nostalgic too and everything. And I will say that Kevin Williamson did an excellent job directing this. I think Wes Craven would be really proud of the way Kevin Williamson handled this movie. He did a really great job with it. And the opening scene is pretty good too. Like it is predictable because they literally show everything in the opening scene in the trailer, which is one of the things that irritated me. And everything is that the trailer showed a little bit too much of the opening scene, but they didn't show too much of the movie from what I saw and everything. I didn't watch all of the trailers for it either. I knew the more trailers they showed, the more spoilers they were going to have, because Paramount just loves to spoiler their movies. That's one thing that I don't like about them. But, and the Ghostface reveal was pretty cool. I didn't really necessarily expect it to be who it was and everything, but I kind of liked it. Their motivations weren't the best. They were pretty weak, but especially compared to like Billy and Stu's motivations or any of the others. But I also did like that they tried to do something really different with this one and everything. So Kevin Williamson took a lot of risks with this movie that some people are going to really love and some people are going to really not like and everything. But I think that it worked out good enough and everything. And while I do wish I did enjoy this movie and everything, and I love the little surprises that we got, I feel like there were a few other characters that we could have had surprise cameos with and everything in this movie that would have been cool and everything. So I do wish that there was a couple other characters that would have showed up in this movie. I'm not going to say who. I'll talk about that in the spoiler review. But there were a few other things that I wish they would have done a little bit more with some of the stuff that happens in this movie. But it's hard to talk about without spoiling, so I'm not going to go into details on that right now. But all in all, I think this is a welcome addition to the franchise. And while it is definitely predictable, I will say this is probably one of the most predictable Scream movies and everything, although I do feel like 6 was pretty predictable too. It still has the twists and turns that keep it fresh enough and entertaining enough to not make you really care about the predictability and stuff. So I really enjoyed it, and it feels like the most like a Scream movie that a Scream movie has felt since at least Scream 4, so that was nice too. Like, even though I did love the last 2 Scream movies, this was a back to basics Scream movie, and I did enjoy what they did with it and everything. So, and it is great having Sidney back. I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, but I really am happy that she's back and everything. So I'd give Scream 7 an 8 out of 10 and everything. It's a really good entry in the franchise, so I really enjoyed it. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of this movie, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody. I just want to say thank you for watching this video and everything. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please like and subscribe and share this video with your friends and get more people going, help the channel grow. I really appreciate it. And thank you all, and have a good day.